Welcome back. You're still watching the game on News Central TV and Favor Itua. Let's quickly now go straight to the world of athletics, where Team Nigeria's track and field athletes kicked off the CAA Region 2 Championships in Accra, Ghana with a bang on day one. 4 Nigerian stars secured gold medals, showcasing their talent and potential. Now, in a thrilling display of dominance, Nigeria swept the podium in both the women's and men's 400-meter races. Esther Joseph led the charge in the women's event, clocking an impressive 51.79 seconds, while Emmanuel Ojeli dominated the men's race with a time of 45.84 seconds. Now, this is Ojeli's 5th sub-46-second run, indicating he is peaking at the perfect time as he heads towards the crucial national trials for the Olympics. Now, the women's 100 meters saw another Nigerian triumph. Justina, Tiana, Eyakpobeyan battled a challenging headwind to cross the finish line in 11.52 seconds, followed closely by teammate Olajide, 11.58 seconds. Now, Faith Osamuyi also delivered a standard performance, bouncing back from a previous disappointment of the African Games. Of course, she secured a gold medal in the women's 100-meter hurdles with a time of 13.66 seconds, claiming her first international victory. The impressive showing for the team of Nigeria raises exciting questions about the upcoming national trials. Now, will the CAA success translate into dominant performances at home, the Senior African Championship, the national trials, and how well positioned are these athletes for potential medal success of the Olympics? And now to discuss this and more is Christopher Maduesi, Community Manager for Making of Champions and an athletics expert. Good afternoon to you and welcome to In the Game.
It's a delight for me being back on this show. I wanted to say in the game, but I'm happy to be back on the show.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. 4 Nigerian gold medals on day one are impressive. Does this signal a strong performance ahead of the national trials, or could it be a peak before a crucial selection event?
Actually, 6 gold medals favor because the 4x1 teams, the men and the women's 4x1 teams, won gold medals as well in their events. And, this is a competition for home-based athletes, I should say. These athletes are already, putting down a marker for the national trials. National trials is going to be much bigger than this, but, it is impressive seeing that athletes who competed in Lagos last week are already, turning up good numbers in Ghana. So it raises, the excitement for the national trials in 2 weeks' time.
All right, how important is the CAA for home-based Nigerian athletes compared to those competing internationally?
It is important because, we've not had so many competitions this season. And, when athletes have the opportunity to compete, it gives them the chance to gauge their performance level and know where they are at, before a very big national trials coming up. So it's important for them. And for example, Emmanuel Ojeli ran the season's best of 45.84 seconds. Like he said, the 5th fastest time he has ever run. And, it is getting him ready for the nationals. So it's good that these athletes are having the competitions and, it will put them in the right frame of mind going up against foreign-based athletes who are already, more like ahead of them, to put it that way. A whole lot of them are going to compete this weekend in Eugene. And, if they are coming fresh from competitions, and youth based at home should also be in the shape to face them. So it is good that we have this competition.
All right, let's look at the home-based athletes now. Of course, they seem to be doing a lot in their career at the moment, from short distance races to 800 meters. Just this year, Comfort, of course, went from as far as running 2.04. And not also forgetting Sambo did also, of course, 1.49. And in Lagos, Ayo and Adegoke did 1.50. And with this performance, coupled with the national trials ahead, can we say this is a good time for athletics in Nigeria?
It is a good time, Favor. It is because, before we didn't really pay attention to some long distance events. We were focused more on the sprints because it looked like that's where we have our core strengths in. But, with athletes like Comfort James, Adegoke, Ogunsheye, coming through in the 800 meters, it is showing that we can actually, focus on this kind of events as well. Don't forget, we have Edose Ibadin, who has already qualified for the Olympics in the 800 meters. And, if we continue to invest all around in the sport, we're going to have athletes compete in so many events, not just, the short sprints.
All right, let's look at the national trials coming up with the performance of the home-based athletes. And now we're also going to have the foreign-based come together. There's also the Senior African Athletics Championship. How can we bridge a gap between the home-based athletes and the foreign-based athletes? Yes, we know they are not on the same level, but how can we at least, bring the home-based athletes closer to the foreign-based athletes? We know, of course, speaking of champions is doing a lot, but what can be done further to improve, our home-based athletes?
Investment, all right. If an athlete in the US is competing on the scholarship and has a scholarship of over, $100,000, you can't compare the person who is based in Nigeria, so there's a big gulf, so there ought to be a massive investment in the sport. I was speaking to a former athlete before, and he was telling me that they used to look forward to the nationals, when they were running. They were based at home, home-based athletes against the foreign base. It was a competition. When a home-based athlete beats like a foreign base, it's big news. So we have to really invest in the sport. We have to put in money into it, because this is a sport that can, generate so much medals for the country.
All right, before I let you go, Chris, finally our 4x4 women will be in action. They also hope to also get improved times and try to leave the 16th position in the rankings to qualify for the Olympics. The last time their time currently, of course, is 3 minutes 27.29 seconds. They ran at the African Games. What are the chances to run a better time right there in the CAA? Do you think that we can have an improved time?
I think we're going to leave it very late until the African Championships in Cameroon coming up later this month, from the 21st to the 26th in Douala. It's important that the 4x4 team are in Paris. We don't have an excuse not fielding a women's 4x4 team in Bahamas. So I really hope that we get our acts together and we have the full complement of the team coming back to compete at the nationals, and putting them all together to compete for the sole aim of qualification. I really believe they have it in them to run 3 minutes 25 seconds. That would put them in a very good position to qualify for Paris.
All right, thank you very much, Christopher. For your time. We can only hope and look at the positives we've recorded so far in our athletes that will get a podium finish at the Olympic Games. Lots of activities lined up. Senior African Athletics Championship. We have, of course, the national trials. The deadline of, I think, June 29th, if I'm not mistaken, for the qualifiers for the Olympics. Hopefully, we'll get to see Nigeria women's 4x4 at the Olympics. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Favor.